Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. I hope you can see me and hear me well. Uh, I did change some settings today to reduce the latency so that there's not that much delay between when I see your chat and the video itself, so I can connect with you a little better. So, in case the quality is not too good, or if you cannot see me or hear me too well, can you let me know in the comment section and I'll try to fix it up. Well, so as usual, I'll do a little maybe discussion on the beginning with another maybe for 5-10 minutes. Then we will do the mindfulness practice as usual. And then we'll do discussion again in case you have any questions, any feedback, any thoughts or experiences that you want to share. So I last time when I finished the live stream, I actually got a question about how to stay mindful throughout the day. And I did notice when I ran the survey as well on YouTube and on my newsletter that there's some issues generally about consistency, staying consistent with practice, and kind of remembering to go back to the present moment, or being mindful, or practicing regularly. And I think all these themes, they connect to this whole idea of maybe having some kind of realistic expectations about what mindfulness is, how we can benefit from it, and um, what can we do in order to kind of maybe increase that mindfulness in our life. But I think most important thing is to develop a healthy expectation about what we should do around mindfulness. Um, I'm kind of repeating myself a little bit. I did talk about it a little bit in one of the previous streams, but I think it's important to remember that when you practice mindfulness, it's not about um, expecting that once you practice it for a while, then you're gonna be the super mindful or aware person consistently in the present moment. Um, Maybe you will get to that point after many years of practice, maybe not. What will start happening is that the more you remember to practice, even if you do it once a week for 5 minutes, the more often your mind will automatically go back to that moment, to that experience that you had. It's like, kind of creating a memory in your brain. So if you've done it once, um, sometime in the future, I guarantee you will remember that, oh yeah, I've done it. Can I do it again? And that's the crucial part of how you start building the practice in your everyday life. When you remember that, okay, I've done it, maybe mindfulness practice is important for me, maybe I want to have more of it in my life. That's the kind of cue to go back to the present moment, in that moment when you remember that experience that you have. And even if you do it for a minute, for 2 minutes, for 5 minutes, that's how this kind of cascade of improving your mindfulness awareness will start. So it's not, you can, of course, if you want to build that consistency throughout the day, or build a habit to do it, I don't know, once, twice a week, whatever. You can, of course, go with a traditional route of setting reminders, or putting it on your calendar, or simply hanging out with group of people, like we're doing it today, for example. That is, I think it is an opportunity for you to develop this habit. So whatever route you prefer, you can do it, in a kind of traditional classic way of being disciplined and setting reminders, putting it on your calendar, um, or you can just kind of let it unfold naturally, as long as you're willing to be that patient with yourself and just spend as much time as you can. Because like I said, the crucial part of developing mindfulness practice is to return to that present moment again and again, not when it's convenient for you, not when someone tells you to do it, although that might be helpful too, but when you remember and you seize this opportunity to just go back to the present moment, maybe to focus on your breath, maybe to focus on your on your physical body, on your sensation, whatever works for you. Every time you will recollect that mindfulness practice exists, or meditation exists, every time that memory comes to your mind, that's an opportunity for you to go to that present moment, in that moment when it happens. So that would be my kind of long answer about developing consistency with mindfulness practice. Now, the second thing I wanted to talk about is the survey that I run on YouTube. That was extremely interesting. But let me just read the comments very quickly. Lucas is doing the meditation debt score if he misses a day, yeah, and then catching up later by doing 2 sessions some days. So kind of, yeah, that's being very, very fair with yourself and trying to keep the score. I think that, if that works for you, that's great. Maybe someone can gain an inspiration from that and also do it. Alexandru, develop habits where you're mindful when sitting down, opening a door. Exactly, yes. So once you start developing this habit, that mindfulness cues to be present, to focus on what's happening right now, it will just automatically start happening. Now the survey. So the winner of the survey, the top challenge that I guess most of you is facing regarding mindfulness practice or benefit from mindfulness practice is experiencing restlessness and distraction. So that was like something like 48% of the voters, which is very interesting. So I thought that today's mindfulness practice we can do around restlessness. Distraction, I leave it on a part because the whole point of mindfulness is about the distraction itself. We're all getting distracted all the time. But what is curious for me, at least, is the part about restlessness. And, I'm curious what that restlessness means to each of you. Is it about maybe getting physically uncomfortable? Is it about getting mentally restless where your mind is racing? Is it about just feeling like maybe there's too much energy? I'm very curious about that part. And maybe throughout this mindfulness practice today, we can explore that restlessness together. I can definitely feel it in many of my meditation and mindfulness practices where it starts feeling like, okay, I don't want to do it anymore, or this is pointless. Like I rather just, get up and do something productive instead of just sitting here and like, waiting for the timer to pass. Or, I definitely can relate to that experience of restlessness and racing mind, feeling like I just can't sit still. So I think that restlessness, for me at least, can be approached from a perspective of a resistance. So when I'm feeling restless, that's a cue for me that there's something that I am resisting in this experience in the here and now. So restlessness for me is something positive, something that gives me basically points out to the fact that I'm avoiding something in the present moment or in my experience or in my life, something that I don't want to face, something that is making me uncomfortable. So if that restlessness is showing up in my mindfulness practice, great, perfect sign that I am on the right way and that there's something behind that restlessness that will tell me more about myself or about my experience or life in general or other people, whatever it is. So, you know, the paradox is that if you go into that restlessness, that's where the solution is. It's right behind. It's like going, I don't know, for some reason I think about this image from video games where there is a little treasure behind the waterfall. So I think that's how restlessness is showing up for me. That it's this waterfall, and I know it's this wall of discomfort and kind of electricity and energy that is difficult to face or experience, but behind it there is some kind of treasure to be found. Okay, so um why don't we jump into the mindfulness practice and do a little bit of meditation, a little bit of breathing, a little bit of relaxation, and then after that, so that will be for about maybe 15-20 minutes, and then we can do a discussion again. And if you have any questions, then you'll be welcome to do that in the chat. Let me just set up. All right, then. So sit comfortably in your chair, on a floor, on your bed, wherever you are, and make sure that you're free from distractions. Your phone is off. Doors are locked and you are comfortable. Close your eyes if you prefer, or you can keep them open if you like to look at the image on the screen, or if you want to look at through the window. Let's try to relax. We'll start with a few deep breaths. So inhale, and then nice and long exhale. All the way. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. All the way exhale through your belly. Now let go of your breath and take a look at any tension that emerges. Relax your face, relax your eyebrows, relax your mouth, relax your jaw. With each exhalation, you're letting go of the stress and tension. Relax your neck. Relax your right shoulder, left shoulder, nice and slow breathing. We're not in a rush. Now relax your back, upper back, lower back. Each exhale, imagine that the tension and the stress is leaving your body. Relax your chest, your abdomen, your pelvis. Now relax your right leg, right thigh, right knee. Relax your right calf, ankle, foot. Feel the foot grounding in the ground. Now relax your left leg, left thigh, knee, left calf, ankle, and your foot. Feel both of your feet placed firmly on the ground. Feel the earth and gravity supporting you enough so that you can let go. Every time you notice drifting away, just bring your attention back to your breath. You can observe your breath, and if you feel like it's rushing, just try to slow it down. Inhale and exhale. Long exhales. Now notice if there's any discomfort emerging. Is there any tensions, restlessness? Just observe it. Notice what you might be avoiding or fighting right now about this experience. And just let it go. You don't have to fix it or change it. You don't have to criticize yourself for feeling that way. It's okay to feel whatever you're feeling. It's okay to feel it. Imagine that your thoughts, sensations, and emotions are like clouds on the sky. And then just appear, and then they move and disappear. And you're just this passive observer. You don't have to engage any of it. Notice how your chest or your belly is moving up and down as you're inhaling and exhaling. What is emerging for you? Do you feel like you're fighting something? Or letting things go? Or accepting? Or avoiding? Just observe it. And remember to breathe. You can let your breath go. Now let's move to the bigger picture. Is there anything that you're avoiding or fighting in your life? Anything that you're resisting? It's okay to relax and go back to your breath. And maybe take a few deeper breaths to ground yourself deeper in the present moment. Inhale and exhale. Long exhale all the way. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Long exhale. And observe what's emerging. Let go of your breath. Give yourself permission to experience everything that's showing up. If it's resistance, or a feeling, or some emotion, challenge or struggle, you can handle it all. Just observe it. And if you feel like drifting away or becoming distracted, bring your attention back to your feet and how you're supported by earth and gravity. Bring your attention to your belly raising and falling with each breath. And notice that it's okay to just be. You don't have to rush. You don't have to chase another thing. And if you do feel restless or bored or distracted, what is that restlessness telling you? What do you think it's about? Just observe what's showing up. Maybe it feels unsafe to relax and let go. And maybe you need to remind yourself that you can let go and you can slow down, and it's okay. And even if it is difficult, you remember to go back to your breath again and again. And that's what's grounding you. Every exhale, you let go of tensions, stress, fear. Now let's take a few more deeper breaths. Inhale and exhale all the way. Exhale, exhale. Inhale and exhale. All the way exhale. Long exhale. Inhale and exhale. Now wiggle your fingers and your toes. Feel the ground. And think about, how would you like to apply this mindfulness in your life? Are there any areas that you would like to be more still, more present, more able to let go, more observant? All right, well, thank you for showing up. I'm curious about your experiences. Any thoughts, feedback, maybe questions? I'm curious if anyone still feels maybe restless, or did they find this practice like it didn't do anything for them? Or if it was positive experience, I'm also curious about. Realized how addicted I am to doing, always in a state of doing, Mr. Chi says. Yes. I think I think we, as a society, we all right now used to constantly kind of chasing one thing after another, and being kind of bombarded with all this stimulation from all sides. Uh, we're surrounded by screens, TVs, computers, mobile phones, and it's constantly being constantly stimulated, and feeling that pressure that we're supposed to be constantly doing something, and being productive, and maybe feeling useful. I certainly have this feeling as well, that I supposed to be always productive, and there's constant pressure that it's supposed to work and be busy and make the best out of my time. So I think that's one of the main reasons why mindfulness practice, and making that space for stillness, and just being, and allowing yourself to let go of all the responsibilities and pressures of doing. I think it's extremely healthy. Not much change for Alexandru. Find it very useful. I'm glad to hear that. Scott shares that my mind kept going to plans and decisions. Yes, I think that is the also very common experience though. If you're not doing, then you're thinking about doing, right? And it's a vicious circle. So I think, yeah, I think it is important to give yourself that permission to slow down when possible, and that, just take a break. Like, you don't really have to constantly be in that state of stimulation and stress and movement, and, doing things all the time. Like, if you look at, you know, nature, many animals, once they're done with hunting or, grazing or whatever, they take this time to just rest, to just be. And I think, as humans, I would imagine that that's what we used to do as well. That's what we still do to some extent. But right now, even though when we are resting, it's still whilst being stimulated. So we're not really resting. We're not really becoming still and just taking a break from all that energy, and doing things all the time. Even when we are resting, we're still getting stimulated, either with devices, or, most people either drink, or, they drink coffee, or doing all sorts of drugs. So we're not really resting on our, as a society on average, something to keep in mind. All right, folks. Well, any final questions before we finish for today? Well, it's been fun connecting, and sharing this experience with you. If you do have any questions, any feedback, you're always welcome to, um, write your comment under the video, or I probably will do another survey or another post. So you can always post any comments or experiences there, or you can contact me directly via my website. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you all same time next Sunday. Have a good week.